My speech would be about being the crypto banker. Basically, I see the financial transactions. So I see where the money is moving. Where the money is moving, obviously, that's where the economic interest is. Being the crypto guy and the blockchain, I understand what kind of developments is happening in the blockchain in the Web3. So, and then we also go to the Davos, so we can join the, get the information from the different part of the world, let's call it that way. So what I've done here, I tried to summarize what is happening right now in the world, where the world is going, and what kind of pictures of the future we can draw for the future. So this is just the summary that we did together with the OpenAI, the ChatGPT. The pictures are also drawn by the, I think it was Midjourney, or it could be DALL-E 2, I'm not sure. So the future is already here. Let's start. So the main changes that will happen soon. The world would move towards a libertarian world. That means that my freedom ends where your freedom starts. We don't need any extra rules. That's it. If I don't impact your freedom or I don't impact your borders, that's okay. Yeah, I can do it. That's one thing. Digital governance. By that, we mean that the world is going digital. And it's not going in the business side, it's also going in the government side. We're going to talk about that a bit later. Sustainability, that's the major world. If you want to earn a lot of money, you should definitely look at this sector of economy, because this is where a lot of government money, a lot of enterprise money is going, and it's logical. We are killing our own planet, so we need to change, and we need to change fast. Biodiversity, unfortunately, by producing a lot of waste, we're also killing our nature. We're killing the animals, we're killing the ocean, we're killing the air and our forest. So we have to do something about that. We need to, I'd definitely like to see, for my daughter to see, like some animals that are becoming extinct. And the last thing that the so-called future governments will look into is the personal well-being of each citizen. If you know Apple is spending a lot of money into his Apple Health application, exactly for this reason. This is one of the parts of it. So let's talk about the digital-only government. If you look at the industrial revolutions that happen, all of them happen, obviously, on some kind of a territories. And the industrial revolutions were analog. The last third industrial revolution, we can say that it's getting digital, but it's not quite there yet. So the problem that we have right now, we have completely digital businesses. We have digital citizens. If you're Ukrainian, please show to the foreigners the D application, how it can be done. Apart from this part of Ukrainian government, the rest of the governments, they're analog. And when you're trying to build a digital business, me coming from the blockchain sphere, we feel that a lot. Because you go to the government body and they have no clue what you're talking about because they live on the paper. That will change very soon. So the digital governments will bring minimal human interaction, so you don't need as many government officials anymore. That could be, most of the process could be done by the computers, by Web3 technologies, AI. This government and this, let's call it even the operating system for the government, it will cater to protect the liberty and private property of their citizens. Here in Switzerland, it's the most democratic country in the world, probably. The reason is each citizen has 5 ways to influence the government. You can go to elections. You can do direct democracy if you don't like something in this country. You can go to the special body, I forgot the name of it, I'm sorry, but you can register for some changes, and then if you collect enough votes, then we'll go for referendum. I can't even forget the whole 5 of it, but the whole point of it is that you can directly influence what's happening in your country in any time. The way you do it is the direct voting. So the future would be obviously in digital. You can do it without going anywhere. You can do it with the touch of your finger. And obviously the problem with that is, and we see it with the Ukrainian DA as well, it's a centralized service. The centralized service has one key problem. It's centralized, and it's centralized database. So if it's get hacked, you lose absolutely everything, which is the way we see it right now is not the way to go forward. So obviously, these technologies will transform to Web3, where the people are the ones who are responsible for their data. And then they only share with the government the only data they want to share. That's what's happening already. One of the projects you can look at is called Network State. It's about this. Private property, as I said, the blockchain is developed in order to facilitate transaction and prove that you did some transaction. It could be financial transaction, it could be transfer of assets. So the blockchain will be obviously integrated into it. And if we read the articles from Davos, they clearly state that the blockchain is definitely one of the technologies for the fourth industrial revolution. So if you still don't know what it is, I highly suggest you start doing it. Obviously, the markets would be open and it would be driven by capitalism. So we're not talking about the closed economies or the economies like in China or in Russia, where the government is the major player in that economy. It would be free because the way you could do it is in the blockchain. Obviously, the emphasis would be on the sustainable technologies and the clean tech. We have a lot of representatives here who are in energy tech. There will be panel discussions here, so look at that as well. And the last thing is minimal welfare. This is one of the topics which is rarely discussed in the presentations, even in Davos, but it's a very important one. The minimum wage in Switzerland is 4,400, if I'm correct. 4,200, something like that, close to that. That's one of the largest wages in the world, probably. And you can see how it affects the people. So today, when you go after the conference or even during the lunch, talk to the people, look at them, see how they behave. Regular people. So the bus driver, the postman, the I don't know, someone you see in the street, just look how they feel, what emotions they express. They're very friendly. They're not rushing anywhere. They know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. They know exactly what's going to happen in a few days. The reason for that is the minimum wage. That gives them security. So with that security, they can make more educated voting, I guess, as well. So that thing would also show up in the presentation, in the future presentations of the so-called digital governments, network states, and so on. So the minimum has to be there. Sustainability, I told about that. So we definitely see that there will be ban on the dirty energy production as well as cars. We know that the cars with the combustion engines will end at approximately 2035. There will be emphasis on biodegradable technologies. So we're going to have the food tech panel. Some of the topics that will be discussed there are also about this, how you can do the carbon neutral food, how you can renew it. Also look at the carbon credits. That's one of the topics that will be discussed at the financial circles. You can buy the carbon credits, you can sell them. Kyoto Protocol, it will be new, but on a blockchain. And obviously everyone will be planting trees, because by planting trees you're getting these credits and then you can sell them. Justice system. This is one of the interesting ones. Obviously in most of the countries in the world, apart from a few examples, the justice system is guided by the court, by the judges. So that is about to change. China has already demonstrated a few use cases where they're using AI as a judge. And I see that since we're going to have most of our economic activity soon on the blockchain, it is already digital. The contracts would be signed as a smart contract or the digital version, also in a digital way. It would be easy for someone or something like AI to make the decisions, who is right, who is wrong, because you have the rules, and you have the proof of transactions and everything. The prisons probably in the most civilized parts of the world will stop to exist. At least the governments will try to do wherever it's possible, because economically it's disadvantageous. Keeping the prisoners is highly expensive, and then when they leave, they're not integrated into community. They do bad decisions again, and the circle continues. So, privacy protected and transparency. Since everything will be on the Web3 and the blockchain, most of the decisions will be completely transparent. So there will be no secret memorandums, there will be nothing that you can hide under the table. Foreign policy. So this kind of digital network states, the Ministry of the Foreign Affairs, let's call it, their goal would be basically about this, spreading the word about their digital country. Think of it as the Google or Apple or any of the big tech companies. They already have your data. So everyone who has an iPhone or has an Android, all your data is already with them. Imagine that they give you a passport. With that passport, you can travel. What else do you need from the government? Maybe register your car or register your house. Okay, they'll give you the registry for that. And they'll make sure, because they have the audience in probably billions, they're more powerful than most of the governments. So would you trust more a small country's government, or would you trust a registry from the Google or Apple? Majority of people might start thinking about it, especially if we're talking about the younger crowd. So the visa-free travel, we see that already, the digital nomad visas, if you heard about them, this is for the mostly people who work online. Well, it's only for people who work online, so you can get the special visa and go to the other countries, and you're paying low taxes, no one is touching you, and you have a 2-year visa. Obviously, these companies, corporations, digital governments, they're going to be spreading the information about their country. The reason is they're acquiring new customers. Think of it as a customer, because now we think as a passport is something that you have to give something back. And the corporations will come and say, listen, get our passport. You're paying, I don't know, flat fee, $50 or euros or francs, and you're getting these amounts of services, and you can travel visa-free, and you can open the company with the click of a button, and you'll get the judge, which will be AI, which will decide immediately whether you're wrong or not, and so on and so on. And obviously, they're gonna, take care of our citizens. And trust me, we have 196 countries in the world. Probably Apple or Google or something new would definitely cater much better for their citizens than the current governments. Probably the only countries that could survive is like G20, the rest in high risk. So what are the government structures possible there? Obviously there will be a board of futurists, because now no one is talking about projections, where we want to go, what's the picture of the future. So there will be a board in these countries. Then execution level, this is that we have already. But the execution level would be chosen by the citizens as a delegated proof of work, delegated proof of stake from the crypto, same execution level. Elected parliament, obviously done through the application. You can revoke any time if you collect enough votes. And independent board of auditors. Most of this board would be consisting of AI, who would be just basically checking and going through the smart contracts or the code and finding out the inefficiencies. And that's pretty much it. Thank you. So this is the text from ChatGPT, and basically together we drafted this presentation, and this is the world we're living in. So if you still don't use AI, I highly suggest you start using it. And I'd like to, don't waste any more time, and I want to see what's the current economic situation in the country right now. So thank you.